Hi guys, we are back with the W's. Today we're looking at waiting. We've done worship, war, and the Word of God. And as I said, this is the time to talk about waiting. This is forming part of a series, so I highly encourage you to go back, listen to the intro where it actually explains how these different parts work and what would be the benefits of them, and listen to the other ones as well, just because it will there's no standalone video when it comes to these things, and it will probably just leave you feeling more all-rounded when it comes to this whole subject. So if we talk about waiting, I'm not sure if you've fallen asleep trying to have a devotion time, or you just get distracted and it's so difficult and you feel like you don't know what's waiting and what is just daydreaming or introvert time or something like that. I know as a person who struggled a lot when I was younger with focus and ADD and just being highly, active. It is something that I really struggled, but I actually was able to build that to a point where I would take 3 hours, sometimes even 6 hours, and I'm able to just sit with God and do nothing else without thinking anything else, but my focus is completely on Him. So you can literally practice it like a muscle in order to grow in this. And Psalm 27:14, it talks about waiting on the Lord. There's so many other scriptures. Psalm 25:3, 27:14, 33:20, 41, 52:9. I mean, there's a ton of others. Just do a search on waiting and look at the Psalms, and you'll see that. Isaiah 40 actually talks about those who wait on the Lord will be renewed in strength. And I know that's quite a favorite one for a lot of people. So it actually has the ability to bring strength to you. It will still your distractions. Waiting also has the ability that, it obviously brings a tremendous way of focusing you. As I said, it will strengthen you. And it will actually bring a greater awareness of the presence of God. So throughout your day, when you're busy with work and the children and all the things, there will be this constant awareness of God that's almost overlaid onto your day, just because of you practicing the presence of God. It will also align your will and your desires, because a part of your will would say, I'm done with this now, I want to go do something else. Well, if you stay in that place where you surrender your will and you synchronize your internal clock with that of God, when He says move, you move. When He says stay, you stay. Your will gets actually surrendered as well. When we look at applying this, I think, how we do this. When we behold God, you want to behold God with your focus and with your affection and your attention. Both those, your affection and your attention. So this is something actually that it does take time. And as you sit with Him, your desires or your agenda actually withers, and that of God start to come into focus. It's not a time of just sitting completely silent. Sometimes I will just whisper adoration to God, if you feel like that is needed, just to keep you focused. And even if you look at Psalm 1 verse 2, talks about to meditate. That word meditate refers to almost murmuring and repeating while rocking backwards and forwards. So there's a part of that is when we meditate, it's not just the silence, but there can be conversation or communion happening in your waiting that actually helps you just to engage and fan it like a flame, or flapping actually, to give you almost a sense of altitude and being constantly aware of God. Now, would it be more resting, or would it be more pressing in? I think what is important is that it's an active waiting. So it is something you're doing, but yet you actively doing or practicing the state of being before Him. And so it's something that we need to practice and get used to. It's not introvert time. It's not escape. It's not daydreaming. It's, just try it like a silent retreat. So what I want to encourage you to do is to link this with some of the other W's. If you start off in the morning with this one, it will be called daydreaming, because all you'll think about is the movie you watched last night, or all the other things of the agenda for the day and things like that. So I would start with worship or warfare, if you need to start playing and putting these things together. And so I start with that. War is just, I start praying and I have one rule. I'm not allowed to keep quiet and I'm not allowed to be stop praying. So I'll just pray and I listen to what's coming up. Then I'll often will go into worship. And from that place, I will start to get in worship so in touch with God that I can just be with Him. I don't need to say anything. And that's what I refer to, as I mentioned earlier, spiritual altitude. You're in a place where there is just an awareness, your spirit, you're not getting distracted in any formal way. So, and then I will often after that time go sit with the Word, but then I can read the Word much faster because I feel I can take it in and digest it quicker because I have a sense of engagement. I see it almost as just, we stare at God, like in 2 Corinthians 3:18, where it says, we behold as in a mirror the glory of God being changed into the same image. So there is a place of being before Him where you just behold Him or stare at Him and focus on Him, and you don't fill the air. You know, you get to a place where you almost feel words will ruin what I want to say in terms of what I feel and what I experience and what I appreciate about Him. So it's a posture that you hold in that place, and you need to bring back your thoughts. If you need to have a paper next to you, I need to take out the garbage, I need to, where you write down stuff that would naturally distract you. If you wrote it down, you can get to it later, so now you can forget about it. And as I said before as well, like I usually take time where I just whisper adoration to God, just because it often helps me to keep and then I keep that posture as long as I can, where I build that capacity to be before Him. And, in fitting these things together, if we look at all the W's, I touch a little bit on that now as well, you will experience a form of almost detoxing, because it's not natural for us to do these things, and it's a habit that you need to grow in and establish in your life. And you will be aware of your normal distractions of, I need to go do this, or my phone, or Facebook, or whatever it is. And you actually need to practice it for a couple of months before you actually are building it and you actually start to enjoy it as well. So bless you guys. And we will look at another series after this as well that's actually complementary to all these things, the W's, they call the P's. And follow the next video and we will explain a little bit more about that. Bless you guys.